That's April 2011, the first time I ever dabbled in the mixed martial arts. You know, I never really thought that fighting competitively would ever be anything that I really ventured in early on. To be honest, I was a big fan. I watched a lot of fighting, boxing, wrestling, MMA, and then me and a couple buddies got into it and got to just doing like some kind of living room jiu-jitsu, so to speak, seeing who could, make each other give up, who could cry uncle first. And I kind of got naturally kind of good at that amongst my friends. And it kind of one thing turned into, others. And there started to be all these little, they called them back then smoker shows. And they were basically just bars would have an event. Anybody could sign up and show up. And so we were going out for my buddy Taylor's birthday around 2011, spring of 2011. And we got to Patera's Pizza and Subs in Pelham, Alabama. And once we got there, we kind of walk in the joint and it looks like just a regular sandwich shop or something. Well, we can't be in the right place. We're like, no, you got to come through here. And we go through the back, and it opens up into a full bar, and there's a ring in the middle, and they're walking around asking people to fight. We're just there to watch, rather. And the guy that's going to be reffing the fight, he comes in and he's asking people if you want to fight, and they're like, Eric, just do it. I'm not fighting somebody tonight. Let's just have fun. Let's just watch. It's like a $10 cover charge, and they're like, well, we'll give you your cover charge back, and if you win, you can get $100. I'm just like, ugh. And so they convinced me to do it. So next thing you know, I'm fighting. So, and I had never really, I've been in a couple scuffles growing up, but nothing crazy besides just us messing around. Well, we wind up going, they pull us all into another room, everybody that's going to be fighting, and they ask us what we weigh, and they're matching us up. And I'm just like, what in the world am I doing? Anything to entertain a group of friends, I guess. And so in my core, I'm an entertainer. That's who I am. So more so than fighting, it was about putting on a show is what I felt like. All my friends were here. We were there to have a good time. Yeah, it'll be great if I get in there and fight somebody, win or lose. So that's kind of what I was thinking. And just foolish pride, I guess, kind of in the way there. But it wound up being an okay experience, that they pulled us into this other room, and they started telling us the rules, and, no biting, no pulling hair and all this stuff. And I'm just standing there. There's all these mean-looking dudes standing around, some a lot bigger than me, some smaller than me. And I'm wondering, which one of these guys am I going to have to fight? I've never fought a grown man. And, I was probably 18, 19 at the time, I guess. I'd have been turning 20 that year. So I was 19. And so they tell me the guy I'm fighting's name is Larry. That's all I know. I don't know anything else about him. And we're standing there, and they're going over the rules, and there's this guy that's being friendly to me standing next to me. And he looks, about like how you'd imagine somebody in an event like this would look. But he's drinking. One thing I noticed about him, like several of the other fighters, are drinking. He's got a Bud Light in his hand. And he's sitting there drinking, and he's like, hey, man, this your first time doing this? And I'm like, yeah, it's my first time. What about you? And he's like, I come every Thursday night. Every Thursday night I'm here. Win some, lose some. It's just fun getting there and get rowdy. I tell him, well, I'm Eric. And he says, I'm Larry. And I'm like, oh. So I'm fighting this crazy man. So, well, that's how I met Larry. Then, an hour later, we're in the ring, and everybody's screaming. It's just insane. They've given me gloves, and I'm standing there, and we fight. We have a little fight, and, it was wild. I wound up in the second round taking his back and getting him in a rear naked choke, and I submitted him. He tapped out, and everybody went crazy, and the adrenaline that I felt was like a drug. I was just like, holy moly, that was insane. And then when it wore off, like in the ring, the refs were raising my hand, and I vomit everywhere, just right there in the middle of the ring. And they're like, we got more fights going. You got to get something to clean this up. And I'm just like, golly. So I go, and I'm trying to get paper towels, and I'm basically in my underwear in the middle of everybody trying to clean up my own vomit. But at least I won, so I guess it made it okay. But and then I go to collect my $100, and he's like, no, you only get 50. You get 100 if you fight twice. And I was just like, what? And I done threw up and was tired and just wanted to relax. And so I just said, well, just give me the 50 then. I'm not fighting again. So it turned into what you know now as the Laminator.